You know, ever since I was little, I always wanted to be Cruella de Vil, and now I am.
Like, now we live in a country where a man could say, now I'm a woman. Now I'm a woman. And we will call you by your name as a woman. But that doesn't mean that a doctor ain't gonna call you until you need a prostate examination.
I don't attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. These are not the men that are interested in me in that capacity. I do that when I go to the straight rooms.
20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. Earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender.
So Katt Williams and D.L. Hughley just went in on Magic Johnson's son, EJ, and they're saying this is exactly what happens when mental illness gets constantly enabled. In case you missed it, EJ's getting clowned all over the internet again, this time after being seen in Paris modeling a woman's leather dress and what looked like size 20 heels. And this comes only weeks after EJ sparked backlash after claiming he looks better than any woman and only attracts straight men. But hold on, if a man is attracted to EJ Johnson, how is that man straight? The math is not mathing. And here's where it gets even more confusing. So based on EJ's own statements, he stepped away from he/him pronouns and prefers they/them or she/her. And he won't even let his parents call him son.
But even I told them on my birthday, in June, that I was like, we're not doing he, we're not doing man, we're not doing gay. Like, and it was very freeing, you know, even like son. I was like, you know, the world tried to give me that label, like Magic Johnson's son. And I was like, well, he's dead. And now there is Miss Thing. Like, we're not doing that either.
So EJ dates men but doesn't identify as gay. And at the same time, he rejects being labeled a woman or a trans woman. Now, a lot of outlets describe EJ as non-binary or gender fluid, but he rejects those labels too, which is fine, I guess. But when EJ says things like, I look better than any woman, and claims straight men are attracted to him, there's a label for that, and it's called attention seeking. And now D.L. Hughley is chiming in, saying you can call yourself whatever you want, but at the end of the day, biology doesn't lie.
Now we live in a country where a man could say, now I'm a woman. Now I'm a woman. And we will call you by your name as a woman. But that doesn't mean that a doctor ain't gonna call you until you need a prostate examination. You can wear a sundress when you go. Yeah. You're still getting the same thing I'm getting. So happy anniversary, I guess. You can say you're a thing and you're that. Yeah. You like, and you have to, like, for now, I'm a white man trapped in this black man's body. Yeah. My name is Chad. Yeah. Now that ain't gonna work good for the police. Wait, I'm a white man, but both of y'all get out. But the first. Yeah.
And then there's Katt Williams. He's looking at this from a different angle, and he actually thinks none of this is funny. In fact, Katt claims that this whole agenda in Hollywood comes from some dark, ancient rituals. During his appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast, Katt made some claims linking transgender identity, Hollywood success, and the occult figure Baphomet. Katt claimed that in these rituals, followers had to kiss Baphomet's ring to show loyalty. And based on that, he said he knew way back then that trans people were going to become a huge topic in culture, and that kissing the ring, basically bowing to power, would become normal.
Years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular in the future.
Katt's whole argument is that Hollywood does these rituals on purpose to humiliate and control celebrities. And according to him, things like men wearing dresses, kissing the ring, and Baphomet symbolism aren't random at all. They're meant to break people down. Because once a celebrity agrees to do something degrading that goes against their ego or public image, they're basically owned. They've proven they'll do whatever they're told. And that's how the industry keeps them in line. And if they ever try to speak out, Katt believes they can be destroyed with whatever dirt the industry already has. So instead, they stay quiet, keep playing the game, and keep climbing. And Katt thinks this whole trans conversation fits into that, because it's not just E.J. Johnson. It feels like every other celebrity these days has a child like that. And while studies say trans and non-binary identity in the general population is somewhere around 1 to 2%, among celebrity kids it seems way higher. And if Hollywood is really using rituals to control celebrities like Katt claims, why would it stop at the adults when their kids are right there too, growing up backstage on sets and in mansions surrounded by industry people? Because if the parents are owned, then the kids are assets as well. And for some celebrities, having someone like that in the family might be personally humiliating, especially for alpha athletes or traditional family types. But they still smile, do the interviews, post supportive Instagram stories, and take the praise, because they already learned the lesson. Do what you're told and you win. And a lot of people believe that's exactly what's going on with Magic Johnson, because Magic is one of the most famous, beloved, traditionally masculine athletes of all time. A Lakers legend, always smiling, charismatic, billionaire businessman, basically America's happy uncle. Yet his son EJ is flamboyant, wears women's clothing, makeup, heels, claims he only dates straight men. And in public, Magic insists he supports EJ 100%.
My son came out, I was so happy for him and happy for us as parents. And we love him. And EJ is amazing. And so you gotta support your.
But honestly, every time Magic gets asked about EJ, his body language gives him away. He looks uneasy, fumbles through his answers, and avoids eye contact. It just doesn't feel genuine at all.
Community, young gay men or young ladies who are lesbian, they're afraid to tell their parents. Just like I want my son EJ to talk to me about everything. I want my son Andre to talk to me, my daughter Elisa, and that's what it's about. Yes, I go to church, I'm a Christian, but at the same time, this is reality. My son is gay, that's reality.
Also, it's interesting how in every interview, Magic refers to EJ as gay, even though we've heard from EJ himself that he rejects that label. So it makes you wonder whether Magic is really as accepting as he claims.
Our youngest son chose to live his life as a gay man.
That's right. I don't care. You want to be a gay man? I'm supporting that.
Right.
I'm supporting that. I'm supporting you.
But here's the thing. A lot of people believe Magic Johnson is privately navigating a very complicated emotional space when it comes to his son EJ, even if he never says it publicly. And the reason people think that comes down to one thing: image. Magic Johnson isn't just a former NBA legend. He's built an entirely second career as a businessman, speaker, and public figure. After his HIV diagnosis in the early 90s and early retirement, he spent decades rebuilding his public identity as a strong, successful, family-oriented figure. Today, he's worth over $1 billion, and a huge part of that success is tied to endorsements, partnerships, and public trust. So naturally, people assume that anything he says publicly is carefully measured. Even the slightest hint of disagreement or discomfort could be amplified instantly in today's media environment. By the time E.J. Johnson came out publicly and embraced a very visible, expressive lifestyle, cultural attitudes had already shifted significantly compared to the era Magic grew up in. And that creates a contrast that people online often discuss, not as proof of anything hidden, but as a generational difference in values and expectations. Still, Magic has consistently shown public support for his son, appearing at events, posting messages, and standing beside him in public settings. To supporters, that reflects acceptance and love. To critics, it raises questions about what emotions exist behind the scenes that are never expressed publicly. And this isn't just about one family. In general, people often point to older generations of athletes and entertainers, particularly men raised in more traditional eras, and how they adapt when their children take very different public paths than they expected. For example, Marlon Wayans has also spoken publicly about his child Kai, and while he presents humor and support in interviews, viewers sometimes interpret a mix of emotions underneath, which is normal for any parent adjusting to major life changes in the public eye. Ultimately, what people are really reacting to here isn't conspiracy. It's the gap between private emotions and public image. In celebrity culture, those two things are rarely the same, and fans are often left reading between the lines.
Is your daughter now?
My child's 23.
Okay.
24 now.
Okay.
And this was happening when they were 22, 23. And for me, like...
That's the let go time. That's like you're your own person now.
Yeah. But you're trying to hold on, right? And you want this thing that's in your head, normalcy, and you're thinking about your grandchildren and all kinds of shit. And it's like, it's not on me to think about none of that.
And the same situation with Eddie Murphy, except he doesn't even speak about his trans child.
Eddie's son with Melb, Angel, came out as trans, but Eddie never mentions Angel when talking about his children. We only hear from sources that Eddie fully accepts Angel, but if Eddie was truly proud and happy, doesn't he ever talk about it? He talks about his other children, so why not Angel? And then you have someone like Dwayne Wade, who went the opposite way and is very public about supporting his trans daughter Zia. Almost too public, like he's overcompensating for something.
Trans conversation is not the entire conversation with us. This is 10% of our relationship. Right? We have just conversation about anything.
Yeah.
Chicken fingers, French fries, like.
Remember our conversation on mustard?
Yeah, mustard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to think that every time that Zaya and I sit down and have, this daddy-daughter time, and I tell you guys all the time, I always create moments with my village, for my people, right? Especially my kids. I'm gonna find these moments to create.
These are men who built their brands on toughness, swag, and traditional masculinity. And now they're in a position where if they say the wrong thing or even stay quiet too long, they get dragged or canceled. But let me hear your thoughts on this, especially the situation with EJ Johnson. Do you think Magic truly accepts EJ? And how do you feel about claims around Katt's theory on trans agenda and Baphomet rituals? Drop your comments below and don't miss this next video.